Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. 7:07 Wednesday, November 23rd, 30 degrees, getting up to 49 today. WOBMAM 1160, 1310 News Talk Radio. Stream live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are now joined by Dr. Thomas Bauer. He is the medical director for Thoracic Oncology at Meridian Cancer Care, which, of course, is part of the Hackensack Meridian Health Network. Good morning, Dr. Bauer.
Good morning, Jeremy. Great to be with you and your audience.
Oh, it's great to have you. So why don't you give us a little bit about your background, kind of how I always wonder how folks end up in their specialty as it pertains to doctors. So why don't you give us that background a little bit?
Well, I think why people do what they do is important no matter what you're doing, and that's my favorite question when I'm working with medical students is, why'd you go to medical school? And so for me, I grew up the son of a surgeon, and so at age 6, just went to the hospital, made rounds with him. When I was in high school, used to watch him operate. And what I saw was the ability to impact people's lives for the positive, to make a difference, and to help people at their very core. And so from a very early age, that's what I knew I was going to do. I worked in the operating room all through college and medical school. My brother's a surgeon, my sister's a pediatrician, and so that's why we all went into medical school, was we saw the difference our dad was making. And then for me, I had planned to go back and join my dad, but there was something when I was in college and saw lungs and hearts being operated on that I thought that was really, really special and inspired me to go on and do more training. So I spent 4 years. I got married out of college from a woman I had met in junior high school. We had dated. We got married. I started med school and did my surgery training at Jefferson, where I had done med school. And I spent 2 years doing research in heart and lung surgery, and then spent another 3 years doing training in heart and lung surgery. And so after those 14 years, we moved to Delaware, where I led thoracic surgery and research at Christiana Care, and then got recruited to come and join the Meridian Cancer team 2 years ago. And so that's how I got to where I am, and that's why I do what I do.
Wow. So I'm not going to lie. I think of when I hear thoracic surgeon, I say I have no idea where that is. So,
right.
What types, what kind of parts of the body do you focus on, and what do you deal with?
So we get trained in all of general surgery and then specialize in heart and lung. But a thoracic surgeon then is someone who specializes typically in everything in the chest, with the exception of doing heart surgery. So as people become more and more specialized, you do a little bit less, but you do more of the specifics of that. So the thorax is your chest. And so nowadays, most surgeons, if they operate on the heart, that is all they do. They don't do the thoracic component, which is typically the lungs, esophagus, other tumors and problems in the chest. And so as a thoracic surgeon, we're using minimally invasive techniques. And so 90% of all the lung surgery we do is either with a robot or scopes and cameras through small incisions, where we're able to take out a 7 centimeter or like a 3-inch tumor through an 1.5-inch incision. So it's the way that things have changed since when I trained is it's really remarkable how the instrumentation we have lets us do incredibly complex surgery that couldn't be done a while ago, and we do it now through even smaller incisions.
Very cool. And so do you only work with cancer patients, or are there other kind of conditions that you guys work with?
Well, we work with a lot of different conditions. I'd say probably 80% of what we do ends up being cancer. But there's a lot of other programs we have. There's benign tumors in the chest. There's chest deformities. You may have seen people that have like caved-in chest called pectus excavatum. So we will help remold their chest. There are people who have excess sweating under their arms, where we will divide the nerves that drive the sweat glands. We have a very complicated program for diaphragmatic repair, where people who have lost the nerves that drive their diaphragm. Actually, we're one of the only programs in the country where people will fly in. I work with Dr. Matt Kaufman, and we have a great team where people will fly in from Texas, Colorado, anybody that's either as a result of surgery or injury lost the nerves that drive their diaphragm, and we will reconstruct them with nerves and muscles to rebuild their diaphragm so that they can breathe better. So it's a variety of different things in addition to the lung and esophageal cancer. And then there's things operating on the esophagus where people have hiatal hernias that have been told, oh, just live with it. And we can go in with scopes and cameras and fix that so they don't have their reflux or their bad symptoms related to their hiatal hernia.
Very cool. Okay. So let's see. So there's heightened awareness about lung disease, obviously, during the month of November. And last week was the Great American Smokeout. So tell me, how prevalent is lung cancer? We don't hear as much about it now as I think I read somewhere that we still have about 17 or 18% of Americans still smoke. But talk to me, how prevalent is it?
So there's probably 50 million current smokers and 50 million former smokers in the country. In terms of the prevalence of lung cancer, it is decreasing slightly as people become more aware of the dangers of smoking, except that if you add up the next three most common cancers, so lung cancer is the most common cause of cancer death among men and women. But if you add up breast, colon, and prostate cancer, and you add up all the people that pass away from those three diseases, it still does not equal the number of people dying from lung cancer. So every time you hear everything about breast cancer awareness or prostate or colon cancer, just remember that probably 3 times more people are dying from those diseases with lung cancer. And so it's very, very prevalent, but for a multitude of reasons, people don't find it as desirable to talk about. It's kind of one of those things that we put in the corner and hope if we forget about it, it will go away, and that just hasn't happened.
Yeah, so I guess, we all know the easy one from a risk factor standpoint, which is smoking. What other risk factors are there? Well,
there's radon in the environment, which is not as prevalent in most of New Jersey. Asbestos is another big one. There's a lot of people that work in chemical factories where they're really exposed to high concentrations of certain chemicals. And with OSHA standards, that has become muchly less common in the work environment, so as has asbestos. And so the other 90% of all lung cancer is really related to smoking, and there probably is a family predilection as well.
Gotcha. Well, okay, so family history is a factor then.
To some degree, I think we need more research. As I was talking to someone yesterday, one of our students, and they were telling me that one of the other specialties is the most rapidly changing. And I said, well, actually, I think cancer is, because every day, every week, there's another gene that comes out or another pathway that we identify that we have a better understanding of what's driving cancer. And so I think as we learn more and more of these things and we do more and more genetic studies, we'll be able to identify patterns that exist that predispose people to getting cancer. And that will probably be what we are able to identify in certain families. I do have patients where 3 or 4 family members end up with lung cancer. Now, a majority of them are smokers, but nonetheless, there's whole families of smokers that nothing bad seems to happen to them. Right. So there's probably something in our genes that enables something bad to happen to us. And if we could identify those, then we would know the people at risk.
Gotcha. When we come back, I want to hear about the program that you guys launched, Lung Aware, and want to talk about that. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Cool. Dr. Thomas Bauer, Medical Director for Thoracic Oncology at Meridian Cancer Care. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, back after this.
Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin wherever you go. Download the Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. So we are talking to Dr. Thomas Bauer. He is the Medical Director for Thoracic Oncology at Meridian Cancer Care. So talk to me about Lung Aware. It's a cancer assessment tool, but what's it all about, Doc?
So we talked earlier that most lung cancer is related to smoking, so we know the population at risk. And so if we could find the cancer early and get rid of it, then our ability to cure the patient goes up dramatically. And so Lung Aware is a program we have where patients can go online, assess their risk factors, identify if they fall into the criteria for getting screening, and then we connect with the patients and get them into Jersey Shore University Medical Center, where we will assess all of their medical needs, but specifically for this program is whether they meet the criteria for lung cancer screening, if they meet the eligibility for any of the other research trials we're doing to identify lung cancer early, and we get them a CAT scan. That CAT scan is low dose. It's about 1/7 a dose of a regular CAT scan that people get. The scan takes about 20 seconds for a single breath hold, where they hold their breath, runs through the machine for 20 seconds. They're off the table in about a minute, and they get their answer very quickly. It's able to find nodules. These are little spots on the lung. They're relatively common. Majority of them end up not being cancer, but with our experience, we're able to look at them, identify which ones need to come back or have something done. That way we minimize doing unnecessary things to people and making them unnecessarily concerned. But in that, we're able to identify those patients that do have a problem and address it quickly. So if you take all lung cancer and say when people present, they typically present with symptoms. And so if we look at that and say with all people with lung cancer that show up, a majority of them too late, how many of them are going to be alive 5 years later? Only about 16% of people are going to be alive 5 years later. Wow. And that is primarily because people come in at the very end with symptoms that are just too late to fix. However, if you participate in a lung cancer program like the one that we're running and you get lung cancer, sometimes people present too late to a lung screening program. However, 90% of those patients are going to be alive 10 years later if you participated in a screening program. So the results are dramatically different. If we could screen everybody, then our mortality from lung cancer would go down in the screening programs to 10% as opposed to, and curing 90% of those patients as opposed to only curing 16%. So it's a dramatic change. Now, the reality is we won't get everybody into a screening program, and certain people just get lung cancer too early that you wouldn't be able to predict. So that if we screened everybody in the country, the results wouldn't be that good. However, if you get yourself into a screening program, your chance of dying from cancer goes down dramatically.
And is there a cost involved in this or no?
No. So right now, it's covered by Medicare. So if you're over 55 and have insurance, the insurance covers it. If you have Medicare, Medicare covers it. And then we've set up programs to assist people that are falling in between those patients that, in spite of all the efforts of our political leaders, still don't have insurance. Then we have programs to help those individuals as well.
And how long does the whole CT take?
The CAT scan takes about 20 seconds to come in and answer questions and fill out the necessary papers. Probably takes you 20 minutes, and a minute to get situated on the CAT scanner. It's 20 seconds of image acquisition, and then another minute or two to get, off the table and out. But it's not closed up. It's a very quick and simple, painless test that if you're over the age of 55 and under the age of 80 and you've smoked 30 pack years, and pack years are if you smoke a pack a day for 30 years, that's 30 pack years. And so on our website at meridianhealth.com/lungaware, we have all this information. And if people don't remember that, you can just Google Meridian Health and Lung Aware, and you can find us.
Cool. And so I also see that you can then become part of the lung registry. And what's the advantage there?
So there's a couple advantages. One is there's a lot of places out there that are doing what they call lung screening, and they're unfortunately some are just profit driven, where they're just trying to help patients, but they make money doing imaging.
Right.
And what I didn't want was to have a money making venture. Certainly.
Gotcha. Well,
if we lose money, it's not good.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, Doc. I want to interrupt you for 1 second because we're up against the break. So on that note, when we come back, let's finish fleshing out what the lung registry is all about. And then talk about Jersey Shore University Medical Center in Neptune's participation in this. And then we'll give you your magic wand, okay?
Absolutely.
Dr. Thomas Bauer, Medical Director for Thoracic Oncology at Meridian Cancer Care. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin back after this.
The news never stops at WOBMAM.com. Get the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, 7:33, Wednesday, November 23rd. 30 degrees, getting up to 49 today. WOBM AM 1160, 1310. News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160. To join our conversation, we're talking to Dr. Thomas Bauer. He is the Medical Director for Thoracic Oncology at Meridian Cancer Care. Oh, all right. Dr. Bauer. Dr. Bauer?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yes.
hey, how you going? Okay, so you were talking about the lung registry, and I think you left off by saying a lot of folks are doing these programs just to make it into a money-making venture, and clearly you don't want to lose money, but...
So the reason that we set it up was so that I could ensure excellence in screening and link our patients and our community to the latest cutting-edge research on lung cancer screening. So to that end, our program, even though it's just recently gotten started, was designated by the Lung Cancer Alliance as a screening site of excellence. So what that offers our patients is that someone's looking at what we're doing. We have to follow protocols. They look at our results to ensure that we're not doing unnecessary testing, that we're complying with all of the regulations around it. So that's what enabled us to get that designation as a center of excellence. And then by participating in the registry, we work with programs around the world. There's 83 sites screening worldwide through this alliance. And what that does is it affords me the ability to interact with all these great minds in the world and ensure that as things change, that we're changing our program, and we're the ones writing the papers that lead others to change what they're doing. When something happens, till it gets to your local community, can be 10 years later. And what this affords us is that as things are changing, we're changing them, and then others will try to strive and keep up with us. So it provides much, much more up-to-date care for our community, and in fact, better care than they're going to be able to find almost anywhere else.
That's great. That's great. And so I think, we know the benefits of lung cancer screenings. So this is available at Jersey Shore, right, in Neptune, correct?
Yes.
So what if I was from, I don't know, let's hypothetically say I was from Tom's River, let's say. Can I still do the risk assessment?
So you can do the risk assessment. And, Jeremy, right now I tell you that people drive an hour and a half or two to go to the beach. And wouldn't you drive 30 minutes or 40 minutes to save your life? So, yes, anybody can go online and do the assessment. But to make it more convenient for our patients, I'm going through all of the regulations and things necessary so that in hopefully the very near future, our patients will be able to go to any of the Meridian sites and get their screening CAT scan. For right now, it's only available at Jersey Shore, but in the coming months, I hope to have it available at all of our sites that will be participating in the registry and all of our research efforts.
Awesome sauce. Hey, Dr. Bauer, it's time now that we give you your magic wand, your fairy dust, your pixie dust, your ability just to wiggle your nose and make an impact on the world. Dr. Thomas Bauer, Medical Director of Thoracic Oncology at Meridian Cancer Care. If I were to give you that wand, what would you do with it?
So, Jeremy, every day, 3 plane loads of patients are dying every day. So if you take an average plane size that would jumbo jet and have 350 patients in it, 3 of those airplanes go down every day. It's a fact that we kind of overlook. When there's a bus accident and children are hurt, we are devastated. Every day, over 1,000 people are dying from tobacco-related illnesses. And that fact kind of gets lost. And if someone says we're going to have a smoke-free environment, there's a debate as to whether we're infringing on our rights or not. And we lose sight of the fact that yesterday, 3 planes crashed, killing everybody who was a smoker. And it happens every day of the year. So you give me a magic wand, I eliminate the desire for smoking. I eliminate smoking. That's how many, over 450,000 people are dying every day. 450,000 people a year, or well over 1,000 people a day from tobacco-related illnesses, cancers, heart disease, stroke, peripheral vascular disease. And so if I was able to do that, I would save almost 500,000 people every year. And I think I see the loss of families of mothers, fathers, children related to this disease. And it breaks my heart to see what the families go through. So you give me the magic wand, that's what I do, and save 500,000 people a year.
Fantastic. Can you tell us again, Dr. Bauer, how would someone get started if they were interested in doing the assessment?
So they either go to meridianhealth.com/lungaware, or they can call 732-776-2434, or simply Google LungAware Meridian Health.
Very nice. Dr. Thomas Bauer, Medical Director for Thoracic Oncology at Meridian Cancer Care. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning, and hopefully you and your family will have a fantastic Thanksgiving and a great holiday season.
Jeremy, same to you and all your listeners, and thank you for all you do for our community and educating us.
Thank you so much. More Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin coming after this.